Hi, welcome to Chalk Pretty Things. I'm Debbie, and tonight we're going to do a quick little craft using this transfer here. This is a shiplap pattern. You know how you have shiplap that runs this way on when they lay boards out, or it can run this way. It also has a joy transfer, peace and love, and a little wreath decor. We're not going to use the wreath decor tonight, but we are going to use the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and use my transfer trimmers. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this apart on the line, just so I can keep the backer sheet intact, but still have individual pieces to move. How are you guys doing tonight? Please hit the heart button as you jump on. Tell me where you're watching from. Tonight's word is joy. So if you type in the word joy in the comments, you will get a link to your Facebook Messenger with the shopping cart to the products I'm using tonight. That does not obligate you to buy anything. It's just for you to look at, to see what I'm using and find them quickly if you are interested. Okay, I've got this cut apart. What I'm gonna put it on tonight is this. This was a bamboo board from Dollar Tree. It was in the $5 section though. So it was a $5 board in the Dollar Plus. I went ahead and painted it with white chalk paint. White chalk paint dries really quickly, and that's why I like to use it. I am going to go ahead and sand it just a little bit to make it look a little more weathered. And you don't have to do this. I just thought I would. And I will paint the back of this before I hang it. You don't have to, but I probably will. So I'm just going to kind of give it just a little bit of roughing up. And I'm going to just wipe it off with a paper towel, just to get the extra dust off. So here's my idea of what I want to do tonight. I'm going to put the shiplap on it, all the way down the board, and then I'm going to color this. I'm going to stain this. This was a beaded ring from Dollar Tree, so $1.25. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on here with the word joy, peace, and love in the center. And then I'm going to hang it with a piece of ribbon. So that's our game plan for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy it. I am on a little later tonight than I usually am. It was just a busy Saturday. I got to watch my grandkids do a dance recital. And it was just a busy day. So I did want to come on and see you guys though. So what I'm going to stain it with is I'm going to use a baby wipe and just some acrylic paint. This is Apple Barrel and it's in the color Nutmeg Brown. You can do whatever color you want to. I'm just going to kind of wipe it on and wipe it off, give it a little bit of a stain look, just to color it up a little bit. And you can do whatever you want to. You can paint it with acrylic. You can leave it natural, whatever you like. So I'm just going to kind of rub this on. So I'm not getting a real even coverage, just kind of hit or miss, and it almost looks like it's tea stained so far. And I can leave some spots darker than the others. Need a little bit more. And there's lots of different ways that you could do this. You could use like a Tim Holtz Distress Pad if you wanted to. You could use paint here and there. You can leave it natural. You can actually put some paint on and sand it off. However you want to color this a little bit. I did want to make this our next step because I want it to dry a little bit, give it time to dry. And I am getting all dirty in this. You might want to wear gloves when you're doing this, but I did not. So see, I have some white areas in between the beads, and that's fine. That's just kind of part of the process, part of the look I'm going for. And so by using a paper towel, a wet paper towel or a baby wipe, you are kind of diluting the color a little bit too. And then also you're able to wipe it off and kind of blend it a little bit. So it's a little fun project here. What'd you guys do today? Did you have anything fun planned, or did you do something that was totally unplanned? What kind of fun did you have? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of my baby wipe. I'm gonna get another one. These are called water wipes. There's really no chemicals in this, but you could use a regular baby wipe too. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe off some of the excess. I think that'll blend it a little bit more and it'll help it dry a little bit. And what I'm going for is a little bit of contrast between my background and the ring. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this down here and I'm gonna try and wipe my hands up. They did get pretty dirty. I don't want to transfer that over to my board. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up. I've always got dirty hands anyway. I've always got paint on my hands. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and apply our transfer. We're gonna get our shiplap lines on here. Sorry for my back to you. This is a reusable transfer. It peels off the backer sheet, which protects it. The first thing you wanna do, it's sticky on the back. You wanna reduce that sticky a little bit. Oh, we need to wax. Since this is a freshly painted surface, it's a freshly painted surface. When I apply this sticker, it may peel up. So one of the first steps you want to do is you want to apply this surface wax. I have this in my shop that you can purchase it from. It should be in the cart link. And you're just going to get a paper towel or a cloth, or this is a wax applicator, but they are out of stock right now. Or you can use any type of wax that's used for furniture, waxing and stuff, staining and waxing furniture. And you're just going to apply a little bit onto the surface. And it's going to protect both the surface and the transfer. So you're going to rub it on, get a good application, and then you're going to flip it over and you're going to rub it off. So you don't want any lumps of wax, but you do want an even application just to protect it. Okay, as you guys hop on tonight, the word is joy. That'll get you the link to the products I'm using. Please feel free to say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and tell me if you have any suggestions. Now, since this is sticky, you need to fuzz this. I'm just gonna do it on my shirt a couple times, and that's really to protect your transfer from stretching out and from peeling up the paste. You can do it on a fuzzing towel, whatever you want. Now, I'm gonna start at the very top of this and just lay it across. So I'm gonna have to pick it up and move it down, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my squeegee to make sure that everything is down evenly on here and there's no air bubbles. And then I'm gonna get my paste. This is the color Storm, and it's kind of a real light brown. And I'm just gonna get a little bit, and I'm just gonna apply it to wherever the white lines are. That's where it's gonna go through the silk screen and go onto your surface below. And that's gonna leave the design. So this is quick and easy. Just apply it, smooth it on, and then we're gonna take off any excess, and we're gonna peel up our transfer, and we'll move on. It doesn't take a lot. I'm kind of doing overkill on this right now, but it really doesn't take a lot. If you've ever used this before, you know that it is a quick and easy process. My paste seems to be a little dry, which you really don't want. You want your paste to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. And that is what works best as far as not bleeding and also going through your silk screen. Okay, so now I've got it on there. I'm gonna go ahead and go over it one more time just to kind of smooth out all my layers. And I do have quite a few little lumps in here in the paste. Try and get those off. I am kind of scraping a little harder today than what I normally do, just because I've got some bumps there. Okay, so now we've got our first half done, and I do have some little pasty areas. Now the wax also helps with some of these little stuck on pieces of paste. It's easier to clean if you make mistakes, and then I'll clean right up. I'm gonna go ahead and peel this down and we're gonna take a look at it as we go. See how it looks? It looks kind of weathered and distressed. That's what we want. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to set this right back here and we're gonna dry what we already have using my drying tool. And that's so that when we put it back down over it or next to it, we're not gonna mess up what we already have. This dries really quickly, so it shouldn't be on here too long. Move that aside, and we're going to go ahead and reapply this. Now notice how some of this kind of skipped, like right here, and some of it looks a little thicker. It's actually in the transfer. So if you look at, you can't see it on this side, but if you look on this side, can you see how this has a big piece right here that isn't a line? So that's all intentional. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up where I think it'll work. Try to get it straight. I'm going to smooth it down. Now, you could clean this in between, but I don't think it really needs it. We're just going to go ahead and continue with it dirty. We're going to get some paste and smooth it on the parts that we need to cover this time. And this is a little dry, guys. It is a little dry. You always want to pull up your transfer while your paste is still wet on your transfer, because if it dries in the transfer, it won't go through and stay on your surface. So once again, I'm going to go over it and remove any extra paste. Just kind of smooth out my lines. Put my extra paste back in the jar. And I'm going to pull this off. And you know what? It kind of could have been better. Let's see. I might want to clean this and relay it. Do you guys see? Or I can actually, maybe that can be the top of my board and I can put the bow over that. Let me just move this off to the side for just a second. I'm going to show you how to clean this transfer real quick. It's best to clean these as soon as you can. And all you have to do is spray them with water. Let it sit for a couple seconds. I'm actually going to go ahead and kind of clean up a little bit over here. And I'm going to get my drying tool and try to clean up my wreath a little bit, my beaded ring, and make sure that it's dry. So we'll let that soak and then we'll clean it. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to go over one pass on this transfer to get the bulk of this paste off, because this is where we added all that paste. So it's got the most of it on there right now. And this first pass I'm doing with the paper towel because it helps keep my sponge a little cleaner. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get what I've got in my water here. I just have a sponge sitting in the water. This is called a board eraser. It's just like a magic eraser sponge, except it doesn't have any chemicals in it, which is what you want, because these transfers are reusable between 8 and 12 times, and you want to take really good care of them. That's the whole secret to keeping them reusable, is cleaning them properly and storing them properly. So see how much of the paste it took off? I'm going to go ahead and rinse this in my water. I'm going to go over it again. And you do want to clean both sides. So I'm going to clean this one once or twice, trying to get all the paste out of that silkscreen area. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, clean my mat underneath, just wipe it off. And then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to spray the back side. Now this is the sticky side up, so I want to be more gentle with this sticky side. I'm not going to rub as hard, it's not as dirty. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly go over it because I don't want to harm that adhesive. I want it to remain sticky so it can be reused. Okay. And then I like to go one more time over the top. just to get it all off. Now I usually take these back to my sink and I clean them in the sink. And I just run it under water and rub it with a sponge and it gets clean pretty quickly. But I just want to make sure that you guys know how to clean this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dry off the top of this. This is the side that's not sticky. So I am rubbing kind of hard. And then I'm going to flip it over, dry this a little bit. Now when this is wet on the sticky side, it's not going to be as sticky. So you can lightly glide over it and it's not going to stick to the paper towel. But I do want to get that dry. Okay. And then you get your backer. Oh, here's my backer that it came off of. And I see how it's got a shiny side to it. I'm going to apply the sticky side of my transfer to the shiny side of my backer. Let's see how I do this. And I just try to get it to match perfectly. Lay it down, and I do want it to make a connection to that backer. And so I'm going to get one more paper towel because I don't want to put it away wet either. I'm just going to go over it again, make sure it's sticking to my backer, get off any water, and that's clean and ready to be used. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my glue gun. I'm not sure exactly how I want to adhere this to it. I'm going to put away my Storm Paste. I like to put them away as soon as I can because I don't want them to dry out, and I do have a fan on overhead. So here's my board. I've got a little bit of cleanup I can do right here on the sides. So I'm going to get some a wet paper towel. I'm going to rub some of that off. And you know what? This is supposed to look really weathered. So I can also get my sanding block again and I can kind of, you know, do a little bit of further distressing. I think it looks good like it is though. So I am going to figure out where I want to put this on my board. And I think what I'm going to do is just about there. I'm going to let it hang from a ribbon. So I'm going to get my Joy transfer off my backer. I'm going to fuzz it on my pants leg. And I'm just going to kind of center this right here. And I'm going to do the word joy in black. So I'm going to take a look at it, see if it's going to look good in that ring about there. Make sure my words are pretty straight. Smooth it on so that there's not any air bubbles. And I'm going to get my black paste. This is black velvet. And my squeegee. Get a little bit on there. And I'm just going to smooth it over the word joy. Now this black will stain the transfer as far as the green part, and that's okay. When you clean it, you want the silk screen to be clean because that's where the paste goes through. I was just making sure this is so nice and smooth that I want to make sure it wasn't ink, but it's paste. I do see a little air bubble right there. So I'm good. I took off the excess. I'm going to put it back in my jar. I believe I'm done with that squeegee, but let's pull it off and go slow. Okay, so I see that it's not quite, this little J right here needs a little bit. So if you see that needs a correction, just lay it right back down and go over the area you need that needs more paste. Okay, here's our word J, our word joy. So far, so good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and squirt this down. I think I'm done with the black. And I'm gonna wet this. And I always get this sprayed all over me, guys, when I spray it. Spray it too hard. Tap up my black. Get a paper towel. Take out the most. You guys, it is what, Saturday? Okay, so we still have one more day of the weekend left. What are you guys gonna do tomorrow? You guys have any big plans for tomorrow? I'm still working on getting my house organized so that I can get out all my Christmas. So tomorrow's a big day for that, for me. I admire all you guys that already have your Christmas up. Go a couple different directions when you clean this too, just to make sure there's not any paste hiding in the corners somewhere. Okay, so you guys, the word of tonight is joy. Type in joy in the comments. Check your Facebook Messenger and there'll be just a little shopping cart, a pre-built shopping cart. You can add, modify, change, delete, anything you want to that shopping cart. It's kind of mainly to give you a starting point to see what I used in this project. If you're interested in buying stuff yourself, then you can, but you can make it your own. You don't have to use the colors that I used or anything. Just do what you want to do. All right. If you guys know of anybody else that would like to watch this type of stuff, please feel free to share the page, like and follow. Let me know how you like it. If you have suggestions, let me know those as well. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, the staining. Do you see how on the green you can still see some of the black, but yet you can see through the silk screen, so that's okay. Okay, now we're gonna get the peace and love, and we're gonna put it right underneath the joy. I wanna center it. Maybe I should dry that a little bit. A little spot of water right there. Let me get that up. Okay. I'm gonna fuzz it on my shirt. I'm gonna center it under here, and we're gonna do this in red. See if that looks centered to me. Pretty much does. I'm gonna do that in red, and what I did, I'm gonna use half of a small squeegee for this. I just cut it in half, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of the red, and this will be quick. It's like basically one swipe and a smooth out. Swipe on, smooth it out, and take any excess off, and then we're gonna peel it up and look at it as we go. It looks really good. Of course, my battery just died on my glue gun. Now switch it out, and hopefully it'll turn on. And the red is another highly pigmented color. The black and the red are most pigmented. So it's probably gonna stain as well. I have my board eraser. Wipe it and clean it off. Whoops. Don't wanna do that. Make sure it's all out of your silk screen. Dry it up. Put it fell on the floor over there. I'm just gonna leave it. Just caught a little bit of red, darn it. Right there. So if you have messes like this, sometimes you can scrape them off. You can sand them off. We have stuff called our detail tool, which has a pointed end, and you can use that to scrape a little bit. Like right here, I've got some stuff, I can just scrape that off. And if I want to make that look a little better, I can. Some of this is meant to look distressed, but I can make it look how I want it. And the reds just kind of go into the pigment, so it just kind of stays. Okay, so we have this. Oh, and I said I was going to kind of take care of this. Oh well, we did it the other way. Okay, so I've got this red ribbon, and I thought I would just go ahead and hang it with this over the word joy. So let me see, I don't think I need a whole lot. I think I'm going to try to tie a bow, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just leave it loose. Okay, so I've got it like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to staple it, the bow, the ribbon, to the back. So I've got my staple gun. And I don't know, these are kind of deep staples, but hopefully it won't go in too far. Good. And I'm going to get a hammer in a minute. I'm going to hammer these in a little more because they're not in quite as far. And I may want to adjust it too. Adjust it up. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. Trying to make that bow look a little better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the chain link here. And I'm just going to kind of tack this down with a little bit of glue. Right here. Right under here. Just so it doesn't move around quite as much. And then I've also got some beautiful greenery. Look at this. I'm going to cut some of the pieces off of this. And we'll see where we want to put these. These are really pretty. Kind of shimmery. Let's see how many we need. I was thinking maybe either up at the top or at the bottom. I'm kind of thinking the bottom would be better. Don't burn your fingers with this, guys. This is hot. I'll just put it right on top of the beads. Take a couple minutes to dry. So here's what we have so far. But I still think it needs a little bow at the bottom. A little bow and maybe something at the top, but maybe not. Let's see. We can make a little bow. We can do a real quick little bow. I'm trying to do an awareness bow. Oh, this one's too small. Might be okay. That's too small. Bigger bow. We're just going to do an awareness ribbon. Poke it down. This one may be too small too. Let me see. Okay, that's better. Poke it down. I'm going to get a piece of burlap. Tie this together. Cut off the ends. Dovetail to make it look pretty and fancy. Then I'm going to get some of this ribbon that I had extra. Cut off a little piece. Fold it in half, or maybe in thirds. First, I'm going to straighten out my bow. Okay, so my bow is looking pretty good. Which way do I want it? Like this. But I do want to cover up the jute string. So I'm going to go ahead and a little bit right there. Gotta make the bows look pretty. I'm gonna fold this over, tuck it in here. A little bit of glue. We'll fluff this up in just a minute. string. Do the same thing for a top bow. And maybe I could put a little bell or something on there. You guys, it's a Saturday night. You guys feel like you're up late. I feel like I'm up late. I'm up late. I'm not a party girl anymore. Okay, let's just get a little piece of this again. Fold it in. Little tiny dot right there. Almost done, guys, almost putting the finishing touches on. Got lots of glue strings on this one. Okay, guys, here it is. There's a little wall hanging. Now I hang it on the wall. I can attach a piece of string on the back, or I can do some little brackets. But here's our project for tonight. And I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit, make sure my leaves go where I want them to go. So this was a $5 board, a $1 beaded board, and then some ribbon and some floral arrangements. But I do have to fix this. Is it this side? Yeah, this side needs to go up some. So I'll fix that, but here it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I'll see you guys again tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.